1-1 going home?
I mean, we're happy with the split. Obviously, you'd rather take two, but going into good teams building, it's going to be hard fought. I thought they had a pushback last night that we expected. I thought we played all right. Probably could have played a little bit better, but overall, I think our game was all right. If anything, gave them some rush chances that we can correct for sure. But no, I mean we got a chance here. We're 1-1 going home, so we should be excited.
This series doesn't seem as physical as it was against Vancouver. Both teams, they like to get up and down the ice, like to skate. How has that, changed the way you guys kind of approach it?
Yeah, I mean the puck just moves so quick out there that it's a little different than even the LA series. So yeah, I mean I think their idea is to get it up as quick as possible. Our idea is to move it as quick as possible. So a little bit less physicality. Obviously there still is some and timely stuff. So I mean, it's knowing that they move the puck so quick and they want to get on the transition so fast. We have to be aware of that. Make sure that we have good F3. Our D are patient, and then our other forwards are coming back hard.
How different is the game plan on home ice as opposed to being on the road?
I think for our mentality is usually keep it the same. It's a little more fun when your team, when your atmosphere is cheering for you and the crowd is behind you. But I thought it's been a great atmosphere these two games in Dallas. So you can get some energy even from the opposing atmosphere when they're that loud. But yeah, we're excited to get back home. And as far as game plan, it's going to be the same. We want a simple start, kind of get our legs into it, and get the home crowd behind us.
As the playoffs go on, it's getting harder and harder to score. What kind of pressure does that create when you get into games where those single goals can be that much harder to come back against?
Yeah, I think at this time of year, every chance that you have, you got to bear down as hard as you can on it. Obviously, they're not going to all go in, but yeah, if you have a chance, you got to bear down as much as you can because it could be the difference maker in a game or even the series. So they don't come around as often, and if you get a chance, you got to make sure that you're doing your best.
You guys are leading the playoffs in response goals, like scoring right after another team scores. What is it about the makeup of this team, and how big a lift is that when you immediately seize momentum right back?
It's great. I mean, it does so much for the morale of the group. Obviously, you get scored on. We immediately talk about it. How are we going to respond? And last night was another example of not just kind of easing our way back into it after a goal against. It's pushing back right away.
There's a lot of talk going on in the series about their depth, but your depth guys are playing really well as well. You got a big goal from Connor Brown the other night. Just maybe a thought on your depth and how much that's a key to the winning this series as well.
I think we have great depth up front on the back end. So, I mean, these guys have scored some big goals when we need them to, and last night was great to see. Like we just said, it was a big response goal, so a huge one by Brownie in that line. But yeah, no, I think we have awesome depth on this team.
The other day, Stuart was talking about how Derek Ryan shows up in the room and the presence that he brings, sometimes, also giving some wisdom as well. What can you say about what Derek brings to this team and just his overall energy?
Yeah, I mean, great guy in the room. Obviously a great player, but a well-respected guy in the room for sure. When he speaks, everybody listens. And a smart guy too, so you want to pay attention. He's always got something good to say, so he definitely helps us out.
Just a thought on the split going home. I know you guys were disappointed last night, but you're 1-1 going home.
Yeah, gives us an opportunity to go make the most of our home games. So yeah, I think two very tight games, really one-goal games, both of them. So it's going to be a tight series, just like the last one.
How much different is this series compared to the LA and Vancouver for you guys? Considering they're a team that likes to skate, like to move the puck, they're not a overly physical team. I guess how much adjusted do you have to do to something like that?
Yeah, I mean they're a fast team, like to play on the go, push the pace on transition. So for us, it's a team we really have to be on our toes. Obviously, they have a lot of depth throughout their lineup and a lot of depth that can skate and make you pay when you're not on top of your game. So it's you just adjust as each team comes and as each series goes.
You guys haven't spent a lot of time trailing in either game, but yesterday when they got that greasy go-ahead goal, it looked pretty rough out there. You guys couldn't generate a whole lot down the stretch for the last, 12, 13 minutes. What do you think you can do better in that situation, knowing how tough that defense is?
Yeah, I think it's just for us getting into the O-zone and grind them down a little bit more. I think once we probably opened it up a little bit too much and got too much into the transition game in those last 10, 15 minutes, where for us to have more success, you want to get into the O-zone and just sustain pressure and create and generate as much offense as you can.
How much does the game plan change playing on home ice as opposed to being on the road?
Honestly, the game plan doesn't change for us. The way that we want to play, the way we feel we can play. It's just more so the element of the environment, and I know we have one of the best buildings in the league when playoff time comes around. So it'll be exciting to get back there and get to oil country.
I know guys were disappointed last night, but how do you feel about going home with 1-1?
Yeah, obviously after getting the first win, you want to get the second one, so that was the goal going into Game 2. Didn't happen, so you turn the page and look to Game 3.
What did you like about your game last night, and what didn't you like about
I thought we took over a good portion of the game. I thought we had a lot of good chances. They're obviously a really good team, and they had some opportunities as well. I thought Skinner was amazing. I think he looks confident. Poised in net, and I think we're doing a good job of creating and defending.
I know you all always had confidence in Skinner, but how has that grown throughout this playoffs, especially these last handful of games?
Yeah, you can just tell by his demeanor on and off the ice. He's poised, he's confident, and when the puck's going in our zone, you can feel confident that he's ready to be the man.
Sometimes when a team takes a penalty, really deflating, but this team has almost changed it into a bit of a momentum gainer. What's the vibe on the bench when that does happen in a game?
Yeah, I think everyone just kind of gets amped up and, let's get this kill, let's be ready. And, when we get a big save or a couple of big clears, it definitely builds some momentum and confidence on the bench.
Going back to Edmonton now for the first time in the conference final this year, what do you remember about how Edmonton showed up in all of oil country for you guys?
Yeah, it's amazing. This time of year is just an amazing place to play. I think everyone on our team knows that. Everyone that's played in Edmonton, against us knows it. You see the people outside. When you're getting warmed up, you can see through the windows, and it's just an amazing environment. You drive around the city, the flags are everywhere. I go to the grocery store, people are coming up to me and thanking me and being appreciative and supportive, and it's just a great place to play.
How much different is playing against the Stars' defense than it was against Vancouver? Vancouver seemed to have big physical defense when the Stars look like they have guys that really mobile, can move the puck, and have good sticks.
Yeah, definitely a different beast. Vancouver is really, really hard to get to the net. They had big guys that were physical, and they play a different defensive style too, with the kind of the steel ball structure is what that's called, and Dallas is a little bit different. Obviously still hard to get to the net, but they're very mobile. We're trying to finish our checks on them and kind of stay above them, prevent them from getting in the rush. But yeah, definitely two different beasts there.
Their coach talked about the way that they can change the way they play when they get the lead. What makes them so difficult to play against when they do get the lead?
Yeah, they haven't had the lead too much yet, so it's hard to say, but they definitely lock it down. They're pretty physical. They use their sticks a lot and make it hard to get to the offensive scoring chances, and they have a really good goaltender, so that helps.
Dallas is obviously very aware of your power play and what it can do, so you're limited to, I think, one chance in each game. Is there anything you guys can do to hopefully force them into taking more?
Yeah, I think we can probably continue to move our feet in the offensive zone. I think they are using their sticks a lot, getting away with a little bit more there, but that's kind of out of our control. It's also playoff hockey, so it's just the way it is. Yeah, I think we're doing the same things that we've been doing in previous series to try and draw penalties, and you can't really look to draw more penalties. Just play the way you're playing, and hopefully you get the calls.
I hear that a lot. That's playoff hockey. Is that, and aside from this series, just in general, do players like that you can kind of get away with a little bit more defensively, that you can get a little more physical, that they call a little less? Is that a good thing for a player?
I think it's just the way it is. I think maybe some consistency there would be great in terms of, is it playoff hockey or are they calling it to the regular season standard? What is it? But I think it is. I think that's what makes playoff hockey so exciting and so hard. I know growing up as a kid and as a fan, as an adult, you look to playoff hockey and you see the warriors out there on the ice battling and grinding, and it's fun to watch.
You guys were disappointed last night. Just a thought on 1-1 and heading home with this, but
Yeah, we're in a good position. You know, before the series started, if you said we were going to be 1-1 coming into this building, we would have been happy. You know, but it's you win the first one, you always want to win the next one, and you know, it's nice that we're going to go back to Edmonton, where you know it's in front of our crowd and at home. So it's going to be tough, no matter if it's on the road or at home. We'll just carry on.
how much different is playing Dallas than it was playing LA or playing Vancouver, in a sense that they have very mobile defense. They're not overly physical, but they like to get the puck up and down. This has been a very, you know, north-south series so far.
Yeah, I think their defense has a little bit more mobility. You know, usually with mobility, you get smaller guys, and there's definitely not that. They're very agile and long, and have a long reach that makes it good for checking. Yeah, you know, they're not perfect, but they are pretty good, and you know, we just got to find a way to fight through that to score our goals.
Dallas obviously has a lot of respect for your power play. They've only taken one penalty apiece in each game, one penalty each. Are there any trick up your sleeves to get them to take more?
Just play hockey, make plays, force them into bad positions where they, you know, put a stick on us and stuff like that, and we just have to play hockey.
I'm sure you've always had confidence in Skinner, but how has that grown, especially the last handful of games here as he's stepping up at the biggest times?
Yeah, I've had a lot of confidence in him. He has played tremendous through my time here. You know, there's a couple of games in the playoffs where we had to reset, and you know, it's unfair. It's hard for a player, especially a goaltender, playing every single game and being on top of this game. But you know, again, since I've been here, mid-November through the end of the season, through playoffs, he's been very consistent. Has played like an elite goaltender, and you know, so far these two playoff games against Dallas, he has shown that.
You talked about Game 2 being a little bit of a goaltender's duel. How do you continue, you know, keeping your goalie in his rhythm and take their goalie out of his?
Most coaches will say just volume of shots, traffic. Get in front of him, make him uncomfortable. Just, if he sees it, you know, when they're on top of their game, if they see it, they'll probably stop it. So, yeah, we just get some more traffic around him, and, you know, getting better chances, that's all.
Was there a feeling you didn't do enough of that in Game 2?
Well, we certainly did in the first period. I thought we had a lot of that. You know, it's comes down to inches. You know, we were having this conversation after one game against Vancouver. I think it was Game 3, and we lost, and their goalie played really well, but you know, we missed opportunities. There's about 4 or 5 goal posts. There's some missed opportunities, pucks laying in the blue paint, and through the course of a season, there's always times when things are just going in for you, and times when they're not, and you know, I don't think we need to panic. I don't think we need to change anything. We just have to, you know, over a course of time, things will go in. You know, there's going to be things that we'll look at, and I'm sure there's some advantages that we can maybe take advantage of, or that maybe increase goal scoring. But overall, we're not going to be blowing things up and saying we need to change how we're playing.
Looking at how you guys match up against the Stars, how important is having that last change in the home games?
I'm not sure it is. I think you look at these first 2 games, and there's been both coaches seem very comfortable on just rolling lines. And yes, there are a little bit of matchups, but my fourth line has been against their first line, and their fourth line's been against my first line. And you know, I think we both feel comfortable with who's playing out there. and we're not going to hide from anything. So, teams typically feel better at home. You're sleeping in your bed, you got your support from your home fans, and that'll be nice. But as for the last change, I'm not sure there's much of an advantage.
There's been lots made going into the series about the depth the Dallas Stars have, but you guys have depth as well, and it looks like your bottom six have kind of taken that almost as a challenge. You're getting some good minutes from those bottom six. Just wondering your thought on their play right now and how important they're going to be going forward.
I think our bottom two lines, if you want to call them that, have played extremely well, and there's been some talk about them maybe not scoring enough, but I think for the amount of possession and how much they drive play, and I think they've done a pretty good job of that. And, another thing, they've been doing a tremendous job, and 5 of those 6 guys are regulars on our penalty kill. And they've been a huge contribution to our team's success through that aspect. And, we got a key goal last night from our bottom 6, and, I think more will come of them as long as they continue playing the way they are.
I know you haven't been here for years past, but you've seen it this year, and this team has done this in years past. But what makes this team so good at kind of fighting back in the playoffs and being able to come back and consistently elevate their game after tough games?
I don't know. I think they're mature and they understand, maybe the shortcomings of why we fell short in a game, and they can step up. And I don't know, I think there's a lot of accountability through that room, and a lot of competitive players, and especially from our top players. We're going to need that again, because it's going to be a tough, long series, and we're going to have to elevate our game from night to night.
In that same vein, you guys need the playoffs and response goals, quick response goals, just like you did last night. What is it about the makeup of this team that allows you to bounce back so quickly from a goal against?
I think we can just be able to put anything behind us. And we talked about this through the regular season on no matter what happens, whether the other team makes a good play or gets a lucky bounce or a referee makes a bad call or whatever happens, we just have to get ready for the next shift. And I think we've been very focused. And as I said, mature, that we can put whatever happened behind us and move on and get focused on what needs to be done on the next shift or the next period.
The other day, Stuart Skinner talked about the presence and wisdom that Derek Ryan brings to your dressing room. What can you say as his coach about the impact that he has on your players?
Derek has a lot of respect in the dressing room. Here's a guy that didn't play his first NHL game until 29 and has played, I believe, over 600 games and is still going strong. And, he's a big part of our team. With our penalty kill, our 5-on-5 play. And, I think just guys have a lot of respect for him on just being such a good leader, a good person, but also the way he plays. Just doesn't take shortcuts, and obviously very focused on team success. And just being an older voice, and we've got some of those. Guys just really appreciate him.
Is Adam Henrique getting closer, and do you think he'll be an option for you?
He's day to day. And we had him out there for a warm-up last game, and very close. And Adam hopefully is ready for game 3 or 4. And I think when he does come in, he'll provide us, some secondary scoring and, key on face-offs and just good defensive play. He's a good 200-foot player, and that's what we wanted from him. That's why we traded for him. So, when he is ready, I think it'll be an addition for our team.